Welcome back. You're watching Network Africa, coming to you live on Channels Television from Lagos, Nigeria. You can get all our top stories on our website, channelstv.com, and on youtube.com/channelsweb. We would like our viewers from around the world to log on to m.channelstv.com from their mobile devices, and they're onto us live from wherever. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS, and Windows phones from their respective stores. The United States is putting pressure on Rwandan President Paul Kagame, calling into question his third-term bid in office. U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations Samantha Power said the United States expects Rwandan President Paul Kagame to set an example for the region and step down at the end of a second term in office next year. She said the United States expects him to follow through on the commitments that he has made many times in the past, to allow the next generation of leaders to come forward. Last month, the African Nations Senate approved a draft constitution to allow President Kagame in power since 2000 to seek a third term in office, clearing the path for a nationwide referendum that is not expected to face much opposition.
President Kagame has an opportunity to set an example for a region in which leaders seem too tempted again, to view themselves as indispensable to their own country's trajectories. We saw President Kikwete set a similar example recently, giving up power peacefully. And we really do expect President Kagame to follow through on the commitments that he has made many times in the past to allow the next generation of leaders to come forward and to help shepherd Rwanda, which has come so far. I mean, just an unbelievable recovery on so many fronts, but to shepherd the country through the next phase. And so we expect President Kagame to step down at the end of his term in 2017. We're aware of all of the parliamentary maneuverings that have occurred, but he has not yet spoken to his intentions.
That's the U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations and currently the President of the United Nations Security Council there, Samantha Power. The United Nations is keeping a closer eye on the peace process in South Sudan. The UN Under Secretary General for Field Support, Atul Kari, who recently paid a 3-day visit to the country, met with the country's Foreign Minister, Barnaba Mariel Benjamin, in Juba. After the meeting, the UN official reiterated the willingness and commitment of the United Nations to work step by step with the government of the Republic of South Sudan to bring peace, prosperity, and development to the country.
I assured the minister, and through the minister, the people and the leaders of the government of South Sudan of our willingness, of our commitment, and of our desire to walk step by step with the government of the Republic of South Sudan to bring peace, prosperity, and development to this country.
We have also discussed broadly the importance of an inclusive type of mandate, especially the new mandate which is going to come up, so that there is collaboration and real great support that can come from UNMISS presence here in South Sudan towards the future of South Sudan of tomorrow, where all areas and all challenges connected with the peace agreement itself can be resolved with the support of everybody.
Environmental groups and students have staged a protest outside government headquarters as lawmakers prepare to debate a motion banning the elephant ivory trade in Hong Kong. Hong Kong legislators are tabling a motion to adopt effective measures to curb wildlife smuggling and explore further restrictions on the Hong Kong ivory trade from Africa, Asia, and of course around the world in a bid to ultimately achieve a total ban on the trade. Hong Kong plays a key role in the global ivory trade and is a major market and transit point for smugglers.
Elephants are very crucial to our ecosystem, especially in West Africa. where the elephants play a very major role, especially in the food chain and in other like ecological activities. But then also consider that it also plays a very big role in the lives of the locals who live with the elephants. But then we must realize that if we stop the ivory trading, these locals must find like alternative sources for finance and for income.
I mean, considering the fact that I really like elephants and that I do not support killing in any forms, like I'm really appalled at this. And I'm kind of shocked that Hong Kong hasn't already put in a complete ban. And I know that they've made an attempt, but I don't think that it's been effective enough. And I know that people are still kind of making their way past the system. And I really think that like this needs to be put into full effect and just like stopped completely.
We are also the largest retail city market in the world. So we hold, when you go out to the city and count how many pieces of ivory is available, we carry more than other cities, including Bangkok, Beijing, Guangzhou, and Shanghai. So we are a very big driver.
Let's take a short break on Network Africa. When we come back, world leaders debate measures to cushion the effect of climate change in Africa at the ongoing conference of parties COP21 in Paris. That's in a moment. Please join us again. All right, let's take you to stories we've been following from Paris on the sidelines of the ongoing conference of parties COP21 in Paris, where world leaders are discussing how to reduce the effect of climate change. The UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon has held a high-level meeting on Africa and climate change. Mr. Ban Ki-moon said Africa is particularly vulnerable to the effects of climate change, where much of the economy depends on a climate-sensitive natural resource base, including rain-fed subsistence agriculture, which is very true across most parts in Africa. Now, disruptions in food or water supplies pose serious risk not only for African economies, but also for political stability, particularly in fragile states. He, however, said that African countries have shown great determination and vision in attempting to reduce poverty and meet demands for growth without jeopardizing sustainability. Let's get more on this story. We're now being joined on the line by our correspondent, Ayola Kazim. She joins me from Paris. She's attending the meeting in Paris. Thank you so much for speaking to us on Network Africa.
Hello, Adeshawa. How are you today?
I'm very well, thank you. Now, world leaders held a special session on climate change in Africa to discuss how to help countries in Africa deal with the effect of rising temperatures. What more do we know about this meeting?
Well, there's one message common in the series of addresses by different African leaders at the conference, which is to see the wrongs committed on the continent by polluting countries corrected through a profitable climate deal for Africa. And everyone listening, what Bank President said, Africa has every reason to complain, and addressing their woes is doing justice to the continent with promising potential. But African Development Bank and other funding bodies say that one of the biggest challenges facing Africa is lack of energy to drive development action. That's what we are hearing today. But I can tell you that hope for ambitious climate deal is heightened. Adeshawa.
You mentioned something also earlier on about the Lake Chad Basin Agreement, something like that. Can you please bring us up to speed on that?
Yes, that's because, I mean, Africa has come with a voice because of the threat of Boko Haram. It is believed that because of the effect of climate change in the area, in the Lake Chad region, Boko Haram has more power, more effect on the people there. So they are saying that this is the time for us to stop the spread of desertification and the drought and that region. So now is the time for us to allow development efforts and save the livelihood of the people in that region. And what they have said are basically that to allow rivers from the central region to flow into the Lake Chad Basin. Adeshawa.
Were there any commitments from the African leaders present at that meeting, and how do they plan to implement them?
Well, really, what we know is that the new Partnership for Africa's Development, that is NEPAD, of the African Union, is partnering the European Union and the World Bank to finance the promotion of agroecological transition in the West African region. This is being led by ECOWAS. We know that they want to do that. And I know that yesterday, the African Union is also has promised $20 billion. There's this plan for renewable energy plan, and the amount budgeted for that is $20 billion. So that is there. That is minus what France has promised, that's the 8 billion euros over the next 5 years for investment in renewable energy in Africa. So even the African government themselves, they are taking their destiny in their hands, and they're not leaving anything to chance.
Thank you so much, Ayola Kasim, there for us at this EOB21 meeting in Paris. Thank you. And as many world leaders continue to drum up support for environment-friendly initiatives, the government of Zambia has launched an initiative to help promote green technology in the construction sector. With a backlog of home construction, it's estimated Zambia will have to build one house every minute for the next decade to meet the demand.
Zambia has launched a green jobs program that promotes green technologies in the construction sector in an effort to stimulate employment among the impoverished and build much-needed housing. As the world discusses actions to mitigate climate change at the COP21 in Paris, beneficiaries and stakeholders of the Green Jobs Program explained to International Labour Organization News the impact that green jobs can have on Zambia's future and its people. Davis Bupe, a construction worker, has been working in construction for 15 years, but he can't hold back his excitement about this new project.
We are using everything is just locally material which we are using. These window frames are made with the trees which we have local around.
Davis is employed by one of the SMEs contracted to build 8 low-cost and environmentally friendly houses to be used as models across Zambia. All the building materials are green and local, and the workers come from surrounding communities.
Here is coming from the green jobs. So we thought of bringing other members from other communities, other small SMEs to come and train.
Job creation is a key aspect of the Zambian Green Jobs Program, a 4-year partnership between the Zambian government and a team of United Nations agencies led by the International Labour Organization, funded by Finland, is using the construction sector to develop a sustainable model to promote environmentally friendly growth and job creation. Zambia's construction sector was an obvious choice for the Green Jobs Program. It has been growing rapidly, and there is a lot of room for semi-skilled and unskilled jobs growth. There is significant potential to contribute to climate change mitigation through the promotion of eco-friendly building materials.
And that will be all on Network Africa this hour. Let's quickly bring you the feedback from the question that we asked you yesterday. I'd asked you, is China a better trade partner in Africa than the United States and EU countries? And this is what you have been saying on Twitter and via our email addresses that we put out there. Well, Adekuku said, yes, China is a better trade partner than the US and EU because they don't come with the usual superiority complex and they are more aggressive. Katsi for real said, in Africa, most especially in Nigeria, we use Chinese products than wherever. Well, those were your thoughts. Well, that'll be all on Network Africa this hour. Thanks a lot for watching. I am Adeshawa Josh.